welcome back to the English Language Learning Podcast. Today we have an unpopular opinion where I share an opinion from somewhere in the universe. We review the English, we ask some questions about the vocabulary, we explore words, sometimes grammar, and then we ask some questions to you, the listener, about the topic and your experience and in your world, to see if you have similar experiences or opinions, or if you disagree, if you have a different world, a different perception, a different opinion than where we start. It's short too. These are usually shorter episodes, so let's begin first with the title. People who can separate love and sex are what is wrong with the world. People who can separate love and sex are what's wrong with the world. People who can separate love and sex are what's wrong with the world. This is from Unpopular Opinion on the social media website reddit.com. The link to the post will be in the info section for this episode. Again, the title: People who can separate love and sex are what is wrong with the world. And let's read their short elaboration, their short explanation. It's with these people cheating can easily happen. It's these people that are the cause for separated families. Marriage has declined, and this is the biggest reason. No one is serious about relationships anymore. Relationships start to seem like a thing of the past. The rise of the polygamists, the furthering rise of absent fathers, to me, is all contributed to this one rising ability, the ability, I guess, of separating love and sex. I'm going to read one more time the explanation. It's very short. It's with these people cheating can easily happen. It's these people that are the cause for separated families. Marriage has declined, and this is the biggest reason. No one is serious about relationships anymore. Relationships start to seem like a thing of the past. The rise of the polygamous, the furthering rise of absent fathers, to me is all contributed to this one rising ability. So that is our first segment. Next, we will review and go over the English from the text, right? We won't start with the theme or the topic. We will go straight into the English. We're coming up next. Okay, we read the title about separating love and sex, and this being, in someone's opinion, this being the what is wrong with the entire world, is separating love and sex. We read the explanation. Now we'll go over the English in the text, okay? So let's start with anything in the title. What's wrong with the world? So that might be confusing. You might think of what as a question word, right? But let's try this in Portuguese. As pessoas que podem separar amor e sexo são o que está errado como mundo. So o que, right? O que, or what is wrong with the world. And the pronunciation usually is what's, not what is. We do the contraction. We smash what and is together for what's. What else can we find here? Cheating. I think cheating might be a difficult word. CHEATING, or to cheat is the infinitive. It's with these people. Cheating can easily happen. So cheating would be to break the rules of some agreement or game. Enganar, trair. So to cheat, you can cheat on someone, right? You cheat on someone. That means it's the person who you are hurting. You cheat on your husband or cheat on your wife, meaning you break the agreement, you break the promise with your husband or wife. So, again, to cheat on someone, after on, you select the person who is I guess, the victim of the cheating. To cheat with someone, you include the co conspirator, the person who is outside the relationship, who is, participating in the cheating. But in this case, we don't have any on or with, it's just cheating. It's with these people, cheating, traição, can easily happen. Um, what's next? Anything more in this short? The past, o passado, the past. Relationships start to seem, relacionamentos começar a parecer, to seem like a thing of the past, como uma coisa do passado. To decline. To decline. Oh, that should have been first. To decline. Marriage has declined, and this is the biggest reason. So to decline is to go down. To go down. It could be quality or quantity. In this case, I think maybe it's both. It's not clear. Ambiguoso, né? Ambiguo. It's not clear. It's ambiguous what they mean specifically, but to decline is to diminuir, to diminish. Casamentos diminuiu. E isso é a razão mais grande, mais relevante. The furthering rise. The furthering rise of absent fathers. So furthering rise. Furthering from further. So this means rise. We'll start with rise. R-I-S-E. Rise means to go up, to increase. The furthering rise, just think of continuing. Furthering means continuing. So continuação. Aumentação. Aumenta continuando dos pais acentos. Os pais que não estão cumprindo a responsabilidade de ser pai. The furthering rise, the continuing rise or increase of absent fathers. And ability. Ability is a noun for something that you can do or are good at. Habilidade. I think that's it. So in our next segment, we will go over questions that I have for you, the listener, and we will talk briefly or shortly about the topic. That's very polarizing, I think. This is a very strong, very strong opinion that I think is strong. Questions for you to think about in English, to practice your comprehension, to practice your question formation. So here we go. Again, our headline from our story, if for some reason you've lost track of where we're getting this text from. People who can separate love and sex are what is wrong with the world. So our first question: do you believe that people can actually separate love and sex? Do you believe that people can actually separate love and sex? And let's remember, actually means de verdade. In Portuguese, it means no momento, agora, currently. In English, no. In English, it means de verdade. So the question in Portuguese, você acredita que as pessoas podem de verdade separar amor e sexo? Do you believe that people can actually separate love and sex? I don't mean specifically any one person. Individuals are very different, but people in general, generally, do you believe that people actually separate love and sex, or is it maybe they believe they're separating it, but not really? Right? What do you think? So, what do I think? I think everyone's individually different. I don't think people can really separate love and sex generally. There's always exceptions to that. Um, it's easy to look at exceptions to that, but I think it takes time and learning, right, to separate love and sex. I don't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but I think that's a learned separation. I don't think that's something that most people son nacidos sentindo. I think love and sex go together, and I think slowly as we grow up, as we get older, as we learn about relationships through people in our lives, through reading and through experience, some people are able to separate more love and sex, and some people the opposite. It's impossible. It's these two things are two sides of the same coin. Your nuanced answer to that question, con nuance, that it depends. I think probably no, that it's not a common thing for people to completely separate love and sex. Do you feel like, our next question, do you feel like relationships aren't serious anymore? Why or why not? Você sente como os relacionamentos não são sérias agora no mundo? Por quê ou por que não? Você acredita que os. Você sente que os relacionamentos não são sérias? They're not serious anymore. And if you have doubts about what that means, me too, because that's just straight from the text. That relationships are not, no one is serious about relationships. I don't know what that means. I don't know where that is coming from. Maybe because of news headlines or pop culture noticing polygamous people. But polygamy is old. That's a very old idea, marrying or sleeping with multiple people. This is not new shit. This is very old. I think maybe the author, the person who wrote this, has no idea, no notion of history. So, but I'll answer the question. No, I think relationships are the same as they've always been. I don't think they're significantly different. And we're talking about romantic relationships. I think people have more freedom in the West to decide how to do relationships. But I don't think that in humanity, relationships are anything significantly different than what they've always been, serious or not serious. I think people are more open about what they can share publicly in the West, and that may be changing our perception, but I think it's just sharing something publicly doesn't change the private reality that polygamy has been normal for people and communities for a long time. Cheating has always, depending on how you use the word cheating, in some stage of human development, many people slept with many people, and it was hard to determine, hey, who's the daddy, whose child. Everyone just kind of shares the responsibility of parenting. Even, is that cheating? Is that polygamy? It's closer to polygamy than cheating. So maybe polygamy is natural for humans. I don't know. Number 3, this is connected to number two. Have you ever met someone that was openly polygamous? So I guess this is a question about, you know, do you know more polygamous people versus in the past? Você já conheceu alguma pessoa que está abertamente polígama? Me personally, no. I don't know a single person in my life ever that is or was openly polygamous. Privately, maybe, no idea. Publicly, openly, no. I don't know a single person. I know of a religion that is that protects polygamy in the U.S., the Mormon Church. I have cousins who are Mormon who practice Mormonism. As far as I know, they're not polygamous, but I don't know behind closed doors in the private life if they are polygamous. But officially, publicly, openly polygamous, no, I don't know a single person personally. Number four, do you think that polygamy should be accepted as a cultural value in some communities? Você acha que o polígama, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right in Portuguese, but você acha que a poligamia deve ser aceitado como valor cultural em algumas comunidades? I think that it is something that is a little bit foreign to me, extranjero, desconhecido, but it's because it's not normal in my community. Openly, maybe privately it is, but openly, no. I don't know anything about how this is practiced. Um, could it be abusive? I think it could. How? Well, if your religion tells you you need to or you should be accepting of a man marrying many women and having their children, I think that's an easy avenue to abuse. But yeah, I do think that we should accept polygamy as a cultural value in some communities. Yes, I do. Even if it's not my operating procedure, if it's not my cultural value, who am I or any of you to decide how people should feel about love and dating as long as it, as long as, like in any community with private, monogamous relationships, as long as we're careful about abuse. But monogamous relationships are full of abuse. So it's not an excluding factor. Our next question, when you hear or read or see the word polygamy, what do you think about? Quando você ouvir or ler or ver a palavra poligamia, do que você pensa? What do you think about? I think about actually Mormonism. I think about religion. I don't know anybody polygamous. Eu não conheço algumas pessoas que praticam poligamia. And I've always heard that the Mormon Church and read things that this is a practice in Mormonism, even though I don't, of those Mormons que eu conheço, they don't practice polygamy openly, at least. So, but I do think of Mormonism, and yeah, that's my honest answer. Our final question. Do we ask this already? No, we didn't. This is similar to question two. But in your opinion, in your world, do you think marriage, casamento, has declined? Em sua opinião, no seu mundo, sob sua percepção, você acha que o casamento diminuiu? I'm not sure. I'm not married. I'll admit I have a child. Some people would say you have a child, you should get married to the person you have a child with. We decided that let's not do that in the moment. So maybe that is evidence that, maybe I am evidence that marriage has declined. But I think I think women are freer and more independent to live their life without men. And so maybe that gives the perception that, hey, there's more single women. and they don't need men and marriage to men to survive and succeed and have a good life. They don't need to enter into that contract for protection, and you make babies and we give you protection. I don't think we do that anymore, but that is not marriage declining. I think that's marriage improving, mejorando, right? There's no power dynamic anymore where women are supposed to get married young, have a bunch of babies while they're young, so they have to get married young. And men have the, hey, I got this, this, and this to give to you if you give me the babies and the sex. So I think marriage is improving. Any numbers? I haven't talked to anybody. I don't know numbers about this or studies, estudas, or pesquisa. I don't know that, but it would just seem to me when there's two parties, one of them is supposed to get married young to have babies and not work, and the other is the opposite: freedom, money, property, voting, socializing. And when the other group, the one that is not as free to choose, now can choose and be independent, I think that will improve the conditions for marriage, not make them worse. So, yeah, I disagree. But what do you think? Um, Overall, my thoughts, I think this person is angry or sad about their relationship ending. I don't under this person has no notion of history. They don't mention anything about homosexuality or anything like that. So this is about polygamy and cheating and bad fathers. There are many reasons for absent fathers. There's a long history of polygamy in humanity and in the animal world. So, cheating, I think, is a matter of perception, at least in the way we think about it now. Um, and if people are cheating more, I don't know about that. If marriage is declining, I disagree personally. If polygamy is rising, I don't know any more people who are. I don't know a single polygamous person, openly polygamous. So I don't really know the basis for this opinion. I think I have to say I disagree on the basis of what is the basis, and the history is contradicting this opinion and the foundation for it. So that's our episode today. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments, criticisms, inscrever, subscribe to the YouTube page or wherever the hell you listen to this. Leave comments, please, and I hope that you enjoyed the format. If you have any advice or dicas or more of this, less of that, mais disso, menos disso, you can share that